Hallo und willkommen, ich bin Meister Lenze and you're watching Get Germanized Almost Forgotten German Words, Part 1.
All on board, what should I do?
Ich weiß.
Get Germanized.
In this new series we're going to look at German words that are or were commonly well known, still are well known by some, but are on the verge of being forgotten. I would say let us get started right away. Lasst uns anfangen. First up, der Amtsschimmel. The literal translation of this could be the office white horse. So what does it actually mean? What can be naively understood as a fast white horse of government officials is in fact the exact opposite. Inertia is the main thing here. This animal eats its food in the canteen and its stable is at the office fixed with opening hours from 10 to 12. So have you ever heard of Amtsschimmel? And do you actually understand what it means? Let me know in the comments below. Next up, die Augenweide, the eye meadow, aka the eye candy. A willow tree bending its slender branches to the ground was the romantic model. A feast for the eyes is a sight that delights our eyes. This appreciation for any pleasingly beautiful shape or form quickly made the rounds. It continues to mark visually valuable things to this day, without going into the beauty in detail. Die Augenweide, the eye meadow. Are you an Augenweide? Do you think I am an Augenweide? Let me know. Next up, etwas abkupfern. To copy something. Engravers actually were the first forerunners of our copying machines. Their task was to carve the image of a painting to be copied mirror inverted into a copper plate, true to the original. But over the years, this skill fell into disrepute linguistically, simply copying something without any effort of one's own and deliberately making plagiarism. This is what happened in various doctoral theses of public persons. So don't just abkupfern something, write your own damn thing. Next up, der Bandsalat, the tape salad. What is this? No light food, but rather the result of old-fashioned magnetic tape playback. At some point, the cassette recorder with the favorite radio play leaked. The magnetic tape made wild waves outside and sometimes inside the player. So one pulled out the pencil, stuck it into one of the holes of the cassette, turned the tape back on, and thus ensured order in the cassette. Next up, Bauchpinseln. Belly brushing, aka to flatter someone. Belly petting describes mutatis mutandis, the belly petting of a dog or cat that lies down on its back as a sign of trust. However, if we want to be nice to our fellow human beings, we should avoid stroking the belly. It is enough to pay a nice compliment to the person you are talking to. Maybe not exactly related to the belly. Bauchpinseln. Next up, blümerant. Flowery or florid could be a translation for this. This stems from the French bleu and literally means dying blue. If ladies in too tightly laced corsets used to faint, they became bleu. In German, this is now called blümerant. So what do we learn? Tight corsets might look attractive, but could bring death. Yes. Our next word is ein Drei-Käse-hoch, so a 3-cheese high. What is that? Let us explore. You can take it literally, of course, but you don't have to. This young person still has to grow to get the height and understanding for this funny term. In the past, a Drei-Käse-hoch was a child who acted up too much for a tender age of 3 to 6. So basically, this is a very young person who doesn't really know all too much yet. Next up is one of my personal favorites. It's die Fiesematenten. Let that sink in. Once again, die Fiesematenten. Die Fiesematenten. Die Fiesematenten. Like you write it like Fiesematenten, but you usually say it like Fiesematenten, at least I do. Not sure if you do, let me know in the comments. It means the shenanigans. This word has a rather exciting origin, at least one that sounds exciting but is also debated if it's true or not, so take this with a grain of salt. During the French occupation, French soldiers liked to invite German girls with the word visitant ma tente. I think this is how you say it, at least in French. I don't speak French. Visit my tent. Strict parents formulated an admonition from this, but no, Wie sind wir ton? With a German accent, this quickly sounded like keine fiese Matenten, which means as much as not to do anything stupid, if you catch my drift. Linguists doubt this explanation, by the way, like we discussed earlier. Next up, another favorite of mine, das Gabelfrühstück. The fork breakfast. This doesn't mean that you eat forks for breakfast. The elegant fork breakfast is a rich second breakfast. It is taken in the late morning between 11 AM and 1 PM on special occasions. Spicy, cold or hot dishes are served with alcoholic beverages. Today, this multi-course pleasure is called, you guessed it, brunch. But I like das Gabelfrühstück much better. I actually have never used this before. I actually never heard of this word before until I did my research for this video. What about you? Next up, a very old-fashioned word, der Hagestolz, the confirmed bachelor. The oddball bachelor is composed of Old High German Hag, small enclosed estate, and Stalt, owning. Since only the eldest son ever received the hereditary estate, the younger sons were given secondary estates. These were often so small that they could not support a family, and the owner of such an estate had to remain unmarried. Today it is probably best to say convinced single, not disinherited single, or I didn't get as much land single. Did you know any of these words, and would you use any of them, well, today? Let me know your favorite in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and apart from that, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to get Germanized. Goodbye and auf Wiedersehen.